Y ahí estamos, chicos. Bueno, pues este es el Stanley Parable, ¿vale? Es un juego que es bastante entretenido. Es un juego que rompe la cuarta pared de una manera increíble y que yo creo que para jugar en stream es muy bueno porque hay muchas decisiones de por dónde ir, etcétera, y vais a flipar, o sea, de verdad, ¿eh? ¿Es de miedo? No, no es de miedo, no es de miedo. Es un juego de verdad, ¿eh? O sea, es un juego cortito y es un juego muy interesante. Muy, muy interesante. Quiero que lo juguéis aquí, bueno, que lo veáis conmigo, porque yo creo que os va a molar. Yo creo que os va a molar. Si no lo conocéis, ya os digo que os va a llamar la atención. Vamos a comenzar la partida, ¿vale? Lo único es que tengo una... Claro, tengo una... Imagino que tendré una... esta cargada, ¿verdad? Voy a comprobar a ver si empieza de cero. Si no, imagino que tendré que borrar los datos. A ver. No sé si... Vale. Es que puede que... Vale. Ahí empezamos, chicos.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Vale, es un tío normal y corriente, un trabajador de oficina.
He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a
Yo todas las mañanas trabajando, chavales.
telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employees
Ah, y ahora cambio la categoría, chicos.
every day,
Ah, ya cambio a
every
Zades.
month of every year.
Qué grande Zades, ¿eh?
Others might have considered it soul-rending. Stanley relished every moment that the orders came to him.
Este es Stanley, un tío normal y corriente, aburrido de oficina.
Stanley was happy.
Pero él era feliz así.
Then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him
No
instructions.
había nadie, de repente.
Or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete
Qué raro, ¿no?
isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Vale, el juego, como veis, juega mucho con el tema del narrador. Decidme si el volumen está bien, ¿ok? Comparado mi voz con el volumen del juego y tal. El juego juega mucho con el rol este del narrador, que te habla directamente y te narra un poquito lo que ocurre, ¿ok? Nos está diciendo que nos levantamos y que nos vamos. Es una oficina, ¿vale? Todos los días vengo aquí a trabajar, clico lo que me mandan, hago lo que me mandan, etcétera. Pero hoy no me llega ninguna orden y no aparece absolutamente nadie más en la oficina, ¿ok? Ya os digo, confirmadme si podéis, si se escucha bien el volumen. Pero bueno, ¿veis? Ahora está en la oficina.
Co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
¿Por qué? ¿Por qué podía
Stanley
ser?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he
A la sala de
was
reuniones.
a memo.
Vale. Me dice que de repente decidimos ir a la sala de reuniones. Esto está cerrado, imagino. Efectivamente. Súbele al juego. Le subo un poquito al juego. ¿O se escucha bien? A ver. Espera un segundo, ¿eh? Voy a subirle un poquito al juego. Un momento. Vale. ¿Ahora? ¿Mejor? ¡Oh!
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Que entramos a la puerta de la izquierda, nos dice. Bueno. Se escucha más un sonido del LOL que el juego. Ahora sí, ahora mejor, ¿no? Decidme si hace falta que lo suba más, me lo decís, ¿eh? Nos dice el narrador que cuando Stanley llega a este punto, coge la puerta de la izquierda. Vamos a hacerle caso por ahora, ¿de acuerdo? Primero vamos a hacer una partida haciéndole caso. Y después miraremos qué ocurre si no le hacemos caso. ¿Vale? ¿Seguro que no es de miedo? Seguro, no es de miedo, tranquilos.
Yet there was
¿Eh?
not a single person here either.
Tampoco había nadie aquí.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Vale. Como no encontramos a nadie, nos dice que vamos a la oficina del jefe.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Hacia arriba me dice que tengo que ir. Bueno, vamos a hacerle caso por ahora en la primera partida. Ya os digo, son partidas muy cortas, de 5 o 10 minutos, en las que podemos hacerle caso o no, ¿vale? Vale. Oh, madre mía, ¿eh? ¿Esto? ¿Cómo se ve? ¿Ahora ya se escucha mejor, chicos, de volumen? Confirmádmelo, ¿vale?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Absolutamente nadie.
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth.
Lo que no
that
pudo
his
haber
boss had
sabido.
been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it
2845.
extra secret pin number.
Vale.
2845.
¿Por qué lo sabemos?
But of course,
Pero por supuesto.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Stanley posiblemente no podría haber sabido esto. Vale. 2845. Lo sabemos por qué, porque nos lo ha dicho el narrador. O sea, como veis, la cuarta pared se rompe de forma continua. Vamos a ver qué ocurre si digo, voy a ponerlo acá. ¿Vale? Tratar de ingresar cualquier cosa en el dispositivo era inútil. Como me lo está diciendo, vamos a ver qué ocurre si pongo otra combinación distinta. 2, 2 2, 2. ¿Vale?
2845.
Me lo está diciendo. Vamos a seguir haciendo el tonto.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-dee.
Prosiguió de una maldita vez con la historia. Bien, en marcha. Pese a que no he puesto el código bien. ¿Vale? Bueno. Se ha abierto esta puerta. Vamos a ver qué hay por aquí. Qué buena seguridad, la verdad es que es increíble, sí. Vale. ¡Vamos para abajo! A ver dónde nos lleva. Me encanta este juego, chicos. Es que es un juego que juega con la cuarta pared de una manera. Y no habéis visto nada, ¿eh? ¿Esto es de terror o algo así? No es de miedo, de verdad, ¿eh? O sea, os lo prometo que no es de miedo. Es un juego que... Lo veréis. Pero no tiene nada que ver con miedo. Vosotros estáis leyendo lo que dice el narrador, porque es buenísimo. Por ahora estamos haciendo caso. Vale. ¿Dónde estamos? A saber. Oh. Instalaciones de control mental. Uy, escape. Vamos a hacerle caso por ahora, chicos. Pero ya habéis visto que hay bastantes opciones que le hemos hecho caso, pero podríamos haber pasado de él. Las dos puertas, las escaleras, eso de allá atrás, ¿vale? Vamos a encender la luz. Uy, va.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Vale, seguimos. ¿Está esto un sueño o algo? ¿Quién sabe? Cámaras.
Now monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Controlando a todos los trabajadores de aquí, ¿eh?
This mind control facility, it was too
Fired.
hard to believe.
Despedido, ese de ahí, ¿lo veis?
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Qué fumada,
It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind.
Me encanta el narrador, tío.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad
Offline.
or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Vale.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Vamos a hacerle caso. Vamos a hacerle caso. System Power. On. Off. Vamos a darle al off. Apagamos la máquina. Hemos apagado la máquina. Lo que nos decía el narrador.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How
Claro, todavía quedan muchas preguntas.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell
Libertad,
him
chicos.
what to do or how to feel. Whatever
¿Cuántos
life
finales?
was,
Muchísimos. Vais a ver, ¿eh?
be
Este es el final normal de cuando le hacemos caso.
he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
Ahora se escucha bien, ¿verdad, chicos? El volumen de ambas
Through the
cosas.
open door.
Bueno.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Bueno, si Stanley es feliz, todos somos felices, chicos. Este era el primer final. Final de hacerle caso. Vamos a ver ahora qué ocurre si no le hacemos caso. Y aquí quiero que entréis vosotros, ¿vale? Quiero preguntaros de vez en cuando qué decisiones tomar. Volvemos otra vez al principio, ¿vale? Otra vez al inicio.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Esto ha cambiado ahora, si os fijáis, chicos. ¿Veis que ha cambiado ligeramente?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
¿Le hacemos caso por ahora, chicos? ¿O vamos por la derecha? Podemos cambiar más adelante, ¿eh? No, derecha. ¿Pues vamos a la derecha?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Solo para admirarla. ¿Vale?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
¿Cómo sabe Stanley que ese mundo es el real? No lo sabe. ¿Cómo sabes tú que tu mundo en el que estás viendo ahora mismo es real? Ah,
Really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
la primera puerta a la izquierda. Esta, me dice. ¿Tiramos por aquí o por aquí? ¿Le hacemos caso? No. ¿A la derecha? O sea, ¿seguimos recto? Venga. Derecha, vale.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't
Es
fired.
increíble que no lo hayan despedido hace años. Vale. Madre mía, ¿eh? Madre mía. Esto es en plan penalización por utilizar mal el cargo. No me sale el nombre. La grúa. La grúa. Y penalización por saltar. $5.000. Venga.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
Mirad el narrador. Ella cómo te habla directamente a ti.
Really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been
¿Salto ahí,
nothing
chicos?
but
¿O seguimos hasta el
all
final?
this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop
Salta.
trying to make every decision by... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful.
Es increíble este juego, de verdad.
Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Es increíble este juego, me encanta. Vale.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Stanley caminó por la puerta roja. ¿Le hacemos caso o tiramos por la azul? No tenemos por qué ignorarle siempre. Azul. ¿Cómo os gusta, eh? Vale, vamos a hacer una hora pasando de él en todas las estas. Y luego iremos mezclando, le haremos caso en algunas.
Stanley walked through the red door.
¿Volvemos a tirar por la azul? ¿Habéis visto lo que ha pasado, no? Me he devuelto atrás. Azul, azul de nuevo. Venga.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Hasta que se canse. Oh, tenemos el azul aquí. ¿Otra vez? Venga.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
¿Ninguno de vosotros conocía este juego, chicos?
See? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Era lo
Was
que
it
quería.
worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go.
Otra vez.
Third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Estas son las primeras puertas, ¿vale? Que tiramos por la derecha. Ahora me ha puesto una tercera opción. Entramos por ahí, ¿no? Es demasiado tentador como para dejarlo. O por la segunda. ¡No entras por la naranja! ¿Seguro? Por la primera. Primera. De nuevo. La segunda. Decididos, chicos. Debatid entre vosotros, ¿qué hacemos? La primera. Nadie... Segunda no le saben. La primera. Hay dos que están diciendo la primera, así que vamos a tirar por la primera. La primera es por donde quería que entrásemos nosotros, ¿eh? O sea, por donde quería que entrase él. Pero venga. ¿Seguro? Venga. ¿What? Pero esto es la naranja.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
¿Qué le damos, chicos? ¿5 estrellas o le damos 1 o 3? ¿Qué le daríais vosotros al hecho de que nos dejen tomar decisiones? Cos of the Altair son parte del programa. 1. Pobrecito, ¿no? ¿Un 1? ¿Un 1? Venga.
A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Vale. Una nueva versión de Stanley Parable. ¿Por dónde vamos? Se está tilteando muchísimo el narrador, ¿eh? ¿Una, dos o tres? Primera. Ahora quieres primera, ¿eh, Luis? La naranja, segunda. Necesito a alguien que desempate. Segunda. Pues venga. Entonces por la segunda. Otra vez aquí.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
¿Qué hacemos? ¿Qué puntuación le damos, chicos? ¿Qué deberíamos dar? Un 2. Un 1. Un 3. Alguien tiene que desempatar. Un 1. Pues venga. Dos que dice un 1.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
Vale.
Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Vale, va a cargar un juego nuevo. Vamos a ver.
In this
¡No!
game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly
¡Qué turbio!
confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course,
¿Le dejamos quemarse?
the game
Pues
only
estáis
becomes
loquísimos,
clear
chavales.
after playing it for about 4 hours.
Me gusta,
So
me
why
gusta.
don't you give it 4 hours
Que
a
se
day
queme.
to make sure it's
Pierde.
effective?
Que se queme el
Be sure to
bebé.
keep notes on
Es
your
cartón.
experiments. You heartless bastard.
Descorazonado
Do it because
bastardo.
you hate babies or purely to spite me?
Es por los bebés, es solamente el odio a los bebés.
I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over.
No.
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game?
Otro
Just
juego.
to ease the pain.
Vale.
Let's see. What do we have here?
A ver, vamos a ver. ¿Qué nos pone ahora?
Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Vamos a ver.
Better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with.
Oh, no puede ser.
Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Uy, está haciendo una casita.
This will
Qué bueno,
go
tío.
Here. No, here. And then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only got half the
Volteo 10
experience,
segundos
please.
y está
Step
y
inside
aparece en
and
Minecraft,
feel
dice.
comfortable.
Vale. No puedo huir. Es que no puedo saltar. No pases. Que no puedo saltar, chicos. No puedo saltar. No me deja saltar. Mira mi casa, dice. Y se la destruyes, efectivamente. No me deja. No me deja cerrarla, chicos. Me va a tocar entrar, ¿eh? ¿Entramos o qué? No me deja hacer otra cosa. Me encanta que de repente ahora estemos en el Minecraft, tío. No, con el espacio no salto, o sea, no hay salto. Vamos, ¿nos metemos o qué? Ni modo, vivimos en una sociedad. Para adentro, venga.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect?
Sí, sí.
It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything.
Ojo,
Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Vale. Vamos a minar. Esto es surrealista, tío. El Minecraft. ¿Qué haces en el Minecraft? Pregúntale al narrador, tío.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
No. No. No he traído luces, ¿no? Oh. Hongos, setitas. Un ermita ayuda.
No. This is
hierro.
far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear.
Ah,
Something
vale.
that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this.
No, otro juego, no, me quería quedar en este. No. Me quería quedar en el Minecraft. Nos ha cambiado de juego otra vez. ¡Oh, portal! Pipiripi, pipiripi. Qué juegazo Portal, tío.
In a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Este juego es surrealista, tío.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking.
Imagino que conocéis Portal, chicos. Pero bueno, si no lo conocéis es un juego muy conocido. Soltar esto aquí.
Genius.
Genius.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty.
No.
I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity.
Se está enfadando,
I don't need your advice.
Se está enfadando mucho.
I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then, I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley.
No.
Good luck with your work. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
¿Por qué? Me va a obligar a tirarme. Nos tiramos, chicos. No queda otra, ¿eh? Tío, me gusta mucho este juego. Es que es como una experiencia muy única, la verdad. Sí. Pues venga. ¡Oh, ahí va! No sé cómo no me mata. A ver, quédate ahí 1 hora, claro, hombre. ¿Qué hacemos aquí? Me faltan los portalitos, o sea... No puedo hacer nada, ¿no? ¿Qué hago? ¿Me tiro? ¿Me tiro? Me tiré. Ah. ¿Hacia aquí o hacia aquí? Por donde estábamos apuntando, hacia atrás, chicos. ¿En línea recta o hacia atrás? ¿Por dónde voy? Atrás. Cómo me gusta llevar la contraria, ¿eh? Vale. Izquierda, derecha. O sea, recto o derecha. ¿Recto o derecha? ¿Por aquí o por aquí? Derecha. Esto vamos a considerarlo recto. ¿Atrás o adelante? ¿Por aquí o por aquí? Esto es adelante y esto es atrás. Adelante. Buena luz, chicos. Oye, se ha ido de verdad, ¿eh? El narrador. No, hombre, no te calles, tío. ¿Y aquí qué hay? ¿No hay nada? ¿No podemos hacer nada aquí? No veo, ¿eh? Nada, ¿no? Bueno, pues vámonos. No parece que haya nada aquí. ¡Eh! Se ha puesto negro. Hola.
I wonder what he found.
Uy.
If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up
Mal
in the
rollo.
end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world.
Qué mal rollo, tú.
Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
Qué mal rollo, chaval. Vale. Amigo. Vale. The end is never the end is never the end is never... Otra vez del inicio, chicos. Chan, chan, chan.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Alguien estaba siguiendo a Stanley, chicos. Alguien estaba siguiendo a Stanley. Chan, chan, chan.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
¿Por dónde vamos, chicos? ¿Le hacemos caso ahora un poquito? ¿O seguimos pasando de él? Izquierda. Venga. No. Pasa. ¿Pasa significa pasa de él? Sí, sí, hazle caso. Pero no hay entrada naranja ahora. Todavía no está. Así que vamos a hacerle caso un poquito. No os preocupéis, sí, voy a estar aquí un rato, ¿eh? Pues vamos a hacer un montón de... Vale.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Vale.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Abajo. ¿Estáis seguros? Sí. Sí. Venga. Vamos abajo, chicos.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical
Me encanta,
sense.
o sea, que me
As
encanta
Stanley
este juego,
pondered
tío.
this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet
What?
when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically
La
behind
cuarta
him
pared.
wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found
Uy,
the
va.
words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone.
Se
He
está
wasn't
yendo que
leaving
flipa en la
his
cabeza,
job.
¿eh?
He wasn't crazy after all. and he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined
Aquí seguimos.
flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Sí, estamos flotando, sí, sí.
Imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
Vete hacia atrás.
Why is there a voice
No puedo, se me cierra la puerta.
dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley.
La voz que es el narrador.
Particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was
Madre mía, qué
Stanley
fumada,
deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too, surely.
Se le está yendo mazo, tú.
If he could just... He would prove it.
Vale.
He would prove that he was in control.
Vale, vamos a
that
probar
this
que tenemos el
was a
control.
dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Vale.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal.
I am normal.
I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Me está empezando a dar mal rollo esto, ¿eh? Aquí seguimos.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Pum.
This is the story.
Qué paranoia, ¿eh?
Mariella.
Ojo. ¿Mariela?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew.
Nos hemos muerto.
Who knows what crazy people look like? And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this.
Qué comida de cabeza,
It was
¿eh?
only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Volvemos a empezar, chicos. ¿Fue?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Vale, básicamente decía, no sé por qué no tenía subs, pero básicamente decía en plan, este es un recordatorio, este es un mensaje, ¿vale? Grabado para recordarte que los mensajes grabados son muy peligrosos. Si alguna vez escuchas un mensaje grabado, termínalo, o sea, en plan, córtalo al segundo. En plan, vale. Vale. ¿El narrador? Ya no se cierran las puertas. ¿Qué está pasando? ¿Chicos? ¿Chicos?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
¿Izquierda o derecha, chicos? Guiadme. Necesito guías aquí. ¿Qué haríais vosotros? Derecha. Derecha, venga.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes.
Esto ya lo hemos pasado, así que vamos a ir en plan.
Eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
¿Le hacemos caso y tiramos por la izquierda ahora o seguimos por la derecha, como antes? Sí. Venga.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
¿Le hacemos caso y nos metemos por ahí? ¿O vamos por la izquierda? ¿O vamos por aquí hacia abajo? Para abajo, venga. Vamos. Me mola mucho, chicos. ¿Os gusta que después de unas cuantas partidas al LoL haga esto? De algún jueguito así, traerlo. ¿Os mola? ¿No tengo otra opción? No. Hay que hacerle caso, parece ser.
Oh, no. No, it's to the
Pero...
right, my mistake.
¿Me está vacilando o qué?
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was
Le
to
odio.
the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Como le odio, tío, ahora mismo,
Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Vale. Pues más para abajo. ¡Ah! Hemos vuelto a llegar aquí.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here.
Esto es spoiler.
This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to...
Pero estamos arriba, no abajo, ¿sabéis?
Am I kidding?
Antes estábamos ahí abajo, ahora estamos aquí arriba.
The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm?
No, nos va a reiniciar.
From the top.
Nos va a reiniciar, chicos. Vale. Vamos a ver, una vez más.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Vale.
When Stanley... Wait.
¿Qué?
What? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be...
Okay.
Did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
¿Por dónde nos metemos, chicos? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 puertas. Bueno, esta no la estoy contando porque yo por ahí no puedo meterme. La de la izquierda. Esta. La primera de la derecha. Jolín, la verdad, no hay... No. Más en desacuerdo no podéis estar. ¿Por dónde mismo? Venga, Luis, elige.
This is the worst adventure
Uy, va.
I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
What? No. Desgraciado.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Me lo he reiniciado, chicos.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Vale.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something.
Uy.
The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Señor. Oye, se le ha bugueado el juego un poquito, a este señor. Pero bueno. Pero...
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yeah!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh,
Pues hemos ganado.
no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. But
Madre mía. Se le está yendo, ¡Oh! The Stanley Parable Adventure
all right,
Line.
I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Vale. Bueno, vamos a seguir la línea. ¿Esto es nuevo? Seguimos la línea, chicos. Esto es nuevo, Antes era por ahí. Sí, ¿no? Yo creo que merece la pena seguir la línea esta vez. Esto ha cambiado mucho,
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa.
Se está rayando un poquito,
That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Vale. Vale. ¿Qué está pasando, macho? Bueno, vamos a seguir la línea. Oye, ¿cuándo llegamos?
Cut the music.
Gracias.
Go back
Me estaba reventando los
and
oídos.
fern.
Es el hecho.
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully.
Vale, chavales, recordad este hecho, ¿eh? Recordad, chicos, este hecho. ¿Os habéis quedado con él? Espero que sí. Vale. Vale, continuemos.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Uy, otra vez aquí.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to
No,
us?
otra vez.
And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Reiniciar. Otra vez.
You know what, Stanley?
Eh?
I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
Es lo que llevo haciendo, pero no me dejas.
This all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Vale. Por ejemplo. Pero es que no me dejas hacer las cosas, amigo.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Vale.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Vale, bueno, pues me dice que no le hagamos caso. Hola.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin.
Claro, me está quedando muy claro, amigo.
Right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
¿Seguro? ¿Le hago caso, chicos? ¿Me meto por ahí? El ending de la confusión.
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Joder.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me?
Qué paranoia, tío.
Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really?
Ah, que las dos paredes, la puerta da ahora mismo.
I
Vale.
don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do
Vale.
it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
¿Y ahora qué?
Okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm
Bueno.
not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Eventually.
Well, in the meantime...
¡Ah! ¡Qué susto, tío!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Se ha olvidado.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Vale. Volvemos otra vez,
When
chicos.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
¿Qué hacemos? Me parece que se ha olvidado de lo que ha ocurrido antes. Entonces volvemos un poco al inicio. Pero algo tiene que haber. Algo tiene que estar condicionado por los gameplays anteriores. ¿Qué hacemos? ¿Izquierda o derecha, chicos? Tiramos izquierda esta vez. No, voy a tirar derecha.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Quiero hacer una
Perhaps he
cosa.
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Vamos a ir
The lounge was sublime,
hasta el
a work
ascensor.
of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No. Ya se murieron.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Vamos a ver, ¿eh?
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Nos hemos matado.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Y se acaba ahí. Vale.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Seguimos por ahí, rectos, chicos. Que por ahí todavía nos hemos metido por donde el ascensor. Pero hacemos todo el trayecto.
When Stanley came to a set
Venga.
of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew
Venga,
it
venga.
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
¿Cuántos finales puede tener este juego?
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the but eager to
O sea, más
get back to
finales,
business,
porque realmente
Stanley took the first
es el
open
mismo
door on
gameplay,
his
todo lo
left.
que llevamos haciendo.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Vamos por ahí arriba.
Look, Stanley,
Ay,
I
qué
think
risa,
perhaps
tío.
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but
¿Cuánto
you
pesa ese juego?
all this
No
time.
mucho, ¿eh? Es un juego muy
There's
viejo.
someone you've been
Es un
neglecting,
juego muy
Stanley.
antiguo.
Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley.
¿Para ella?
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
¿Mm?
She's been waiting.
What? What?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another,
¿Lo cogemos?
then pick up the phone.
¿Lo cogemos? Venga. Sí, no. Ya le había dado, chicos. Lo siento.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Oi.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Uy.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you?
Pero, tío.
I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Tío.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
No. Buenos días, empleado 427. Presione L en su teclado. ¿Presionamos? No sé si puedo hacer otra cosa. O si esperando pasa algo.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
F. Presione F.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures.
Vale.
From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Presione Z para mirar la televisión.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss,
¡Qué rayada,
everyone in
tú!
the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Uf.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions
¡Qué
would mean
rayada, tú!
something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Uf.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is
Esta es la
pushing
oficina,
the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets
Madre mía, qué
which
depresivo,
life
¿eh?
is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
¿Lo hacemos, chicos? ¿Durante cuánto tiempo tengo que esperar? ¿Le doy al botón? Me da a mí que voy a tener que darle, ¿eh? Hay que darle.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Para cuestionar nada.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps Well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Por favor, muera.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Oye. ¿Me ha matado?
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Vamos a jugar una más, chicos. Yo creo que lo dejaremos por aquí. Porque ya llevamos un rato y al final se hace un poco pesado, ¿sabes? Izquierda, derecha. Izquierda, derecha, chicos. Buscamos la puerta naranja. Buscamos la puerta naranja, chicos. Para eso había que entrar. Vale, venga. Para eso había que venir por aquí.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
¿Cómo llegar allá? Tranqui, yo me acuerdo. Era por aquí. Subirse ahí y tirarse a la plataforma esa. Era tirarse ahí.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you. To show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Venga.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road?
No sabemos todavía lo que había en la puerta roja, ¿eh?
Stop you. You see? There's nothing here.
Luego hacemos una mapa buscando, mirando a ver qué hay en la puerta roja.
Because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
Todo esto ya lo hemos visto.
With me, you give me absolutely
Pero bueno, hemos tirado bien,
nothing so
Era
far.
por aquí, para la puerta naranja.
Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go.
Venga, ahí la tenemos.
This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley.
Ah, no hay diferencia.
Now, tell me about your experience with this new version.
Vamos a darle un
Would you
5
say
ahora.
that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Venga.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do
Nos ha
these
llevado al mismo
flashes of
sitio.
inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this
¿Me
one.
voy a llevar otra vez a lo de antes? Me da a mí que sí, vamos a acabar en...
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Me da a mí que va a ser lo mismo, ¿eh?
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you
Qué lástima, tío. Creía que cambiaría algo, ¿eh?
All about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
A ver si cambia. Puede ser, no lo sé.
Will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
4 horas.
Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Dios. ¿Y tengo que estar 4 horas haciendo esto? No, lo siento. Adiós, niño. 4 horas.
Heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might...
Me va a llevar al Minecraft, tío.
I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game?
Qué lástima.
To ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Qué lástima, chicos.
Well, Stanley, is this any better?
Ahí
At last, the
voy a ver si puedo rusear esto, esta parte, y a ver si podemos hacer 2 finales más.
Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever
Y lo dejaríamos por hoy.
Well, I'll say
Qué
this.
lástima, porque esta
I'm
parte
making things for you.
es un poco larga.
From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Quería que cambiaría un poco, tío, pero es lo mismo.
This will go here, no, here, and then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Venga, anda.
Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond.
Ábreme.
Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Vale, venga. A ver si podemos rusear esto, chicos. Y la parte del portal.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light? Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Venga. Sí, he intentado hacer eso, digo, a ver si puedo meterme rápidamente en la cueva, pero no.
Yes, I don't even know what this game is, but I love it.
Venga, portal.
You trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me.
Uy, lo he roto.
Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Oh,
He roto la tele, o sea, la tele, la taza.
let's go find out what the hell this is. Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking.
Dame la cajita.
Stanley. Your forte. Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble.
Venga. Vamos a rusearlo, chicos. Bueno, esto sí que es diferente, ¿eh? Vamos a tirar por aquí en línea recta. ¿Qué pasa, Silver? Croquetas, ¿cómo que croquetas? Ah, pues mira, te llevo al mismo sitio. ¿De qué las prefieres? De jamón, no de pollo, está guay. Es que me gusta mucho el pollo, tío. Pero el jamón también está muy rico. No podría elegir entre ambos.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned.
Vale, vamos a hacer el final de la puerta roja y un último
He'll understand
final.
soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
Vale,
The end will be here soon. Very soon.
vale.
I can wait.
Ahí está. Venga. Vale, vamos a hacer el que he dicho,
Already
¿eh?
this was uncomfortable.
Uy.
And Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Vamos a buscar la puerta roja, chicos.
When Stanley came to a set of two open
No.
this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic. Perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No. Puerta
Stanley was
roja.
so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. What?
Es una locura como quiere manipularte el narrador. Es increíble, o sea, el juego es espectacular. Es un juego demasiado único, me gusta mucho. Vamos a tirar por la puerta azul 2 veces y luego al final tiramos por la roja. Y le hacemos caso, ¿vale?
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Sí, hay otro final que creo que sí está no sé cuántas horas con el minijuego del niño. Es una locura.
Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly.
Venga.
Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank
Vale.
God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you
Vale.
see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier
No.
if we just stopped.
No.
And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Vale.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes.
What?
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy.
Sí, sí, eso es una rayada que flipas, tío.
Happy.
El juego.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
No.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
¿Preparados, chicos? ¡Hueva!
No!
Oh,
Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
salto el vacío aquí.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
No me deja, no puedo. No puedo. No puedo, no puedo, no puedo, no puedo.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
Lo intentamos otra vez, a ver si nos matamos.
No, no, what do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
¿Otra vez? No me muero, tío.
Let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? Yes, perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Me da pena el narrador ahora. Una vez más, chicos.
No, perhaps not. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
Ahora da penilla.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Nos matamos, chicos.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Y ahora vamos a hacer la última. La última que quiero sacar, chicos. Dejo el vídeo, ok. Muchas gracias, tío. Que aproveche, Silver. Vamos a hacernos por aquí.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Vale. Vamos a seguirla hasta prácticamente el final del juego, chicos.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Vale.
Stepping into his manager's
2845 era, ¿verdad?
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Sí, lo que tú quieras, pero déjame seguir. Oye, he ido tan rápido que no me deja.
And rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Venga. Ya tío, es un juego divertido, es un juego muy entretenido. Tiene muchos más finales, o sea... Pero... Y está baratito en Steam, o sea, si os ha gustado, lo podéis jugar, o sea, está chulo. Aquí es donde quería tirar. Por aquí.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Vale.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Sí, a eso vamos. Vale. Au.
As the machine whirred into motion, a and Stanley was inched closer and closer
Uy.
to his demise, it reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
Ups.
Stanley can't
Puede
see
que moramos,
the
chicos.
picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Adiós, chicos.
Farewell, Stanley.
Oh,
Farewell,
Oi.
Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
¡Es
In
el
a
narrador del
single
narrador!
visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
vale.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
The Stanley Parable.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Una maqueta. Los créditos. La oficina del jefe. Es una buena pregunta, la verdad. Es una buena pregunta. Qué rayada, tío, ¿eh? Qué rayada, ahora mismo. Freedom Ending. Este es el primero que sacamos. Vale. Vale. No quiero dejarme por ver nada, por si algo especial por aquí, pero creo que no. Entonces, vamos a seguir.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Stanley Parable está encendido. Apagamos, supongo, sí, ¿no? No hay más opciones.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now. It will be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it.
Adiós.
Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time.
Y aquí estaría, chicos. Creo que se va a quedar en negro hasta que le dé a regresar. Con lo cual, bueno, lo vamos a dejar aquí por hoy. Espero que os haya molado. La verdad es que es un juego que a mí me encanta. Es un juego que tiene muchos años, es muy conocido. Porque a veces se escucha a veces porque sí ha abierto y está bugueada lo de las misiones. Y a veces que se escucha. Pero bueno, chicos, espero que os haya molado este juego. Ya os digo que a mí me parece muy entretenido, me parece muy interesante. La forma que tiene de jugar con la cuarta pared me parece de masterpiece, de una obra maestra. Entonces, bueno, quería jugarlo porque sé que es un juego cortito y es un juego bastante interesante. Está bien para echar una tarde, efectivamente, hombre. Lógicamente no te va a dar para mucho más, pero es un juego que está muy bien. Una última pregunta, dime, Altair. Vamos a hacer así. Dime y lo dejamos por hoy, chicos. Ya os digo, espero que os haya gustado, ¿eh? A mí es un juego que... La primera vez que lo vi me sorprendió muchísimo. Me sorprendió mucho. Bueno, sé que ocurrió, pero no lo llegué a ver, Altair. No lo llegué a ver. Sé que tenía un torneo benéfico y tal, pero no llegué a verlo. Es que no he llegado a ver mucho de todo eso. ¿Por qué lo dices? Pues ya os digo, chicos, lo vamos a dejar por hoy. Mañana probablemente también streameé por la tarde. Lo intentaré en principio, ¿vale? Si todo va bien, mañana streamearé. Y poquito más. Espero que os haya gustado. Y nada, venga, chicos, hasta mañana. Bye, bye.